There are two kinds of people in the world, those who like big phones and those who like small phones. The Pixel 6a is definitely geared towards the people who want a pocket-sized cell phone. It's a littler phone in a little box, with a USB-C charging cable and a USB-A adapter, along with a circular SIM card removal tool, and some instructions or something. Today we're going to find out if this new, inexpensive Pixel 6a, costing only $450, is durable. Let's get started. The Google lineup of phones is easy to identify due to their large rectangular camera lens traversing the entire back panel. This remains true for the Pixel 6a as well as its larger sibling, which costs twice as much, the Pixel 6 Pro. Personally though, I think the design is ripe for a little spice. They always look so much cooler when my Teardown skin is installed. And don't worry little buddy, you'll get one as well. You just have to go through some things first. Let's start with the scratch test. No pre-installed screen protector this time around, and since it's not scratching at a level 2 or 3, we know it's not plastic. 5 or 6 would be glass, and level 8 or 9 would be sapphire. Google says they are using Gorilla Glass 3. Interestingly enough, GG3 was released about 10 years ago, and of course, still being tempered glass, scratches at a level 6 with deeper grooves at a level 7. I'm not too concerned with Google using decade-old glass chemistry. In my opinion, glass is glass. It's never really a matter of if it cracks, more like when it will crack. Cases are always a good thing. The scratch-resistant glass also protects the 8-megapixel circular hole punch camera, which is right below the earpiece slit, between the frame and the glass. Speaking of frame, it is made from metal. Kinda nice. The volume rocker and power button, though, are both made from plastic. The top of the phone has more metal, along with 2 antenna lines, and the right side of the Pixel 6a has even more metal, along with a SIM card tray. This guy only has room for a singular SIM card with no expandable memory, but does have the black rubber ring around the opening to keep things watertight. The 6a is IP67. The bottom of the phone, next to the 18-watt USB-C port and lower stereo speaker, is also metal. One of the things Google has been good at over the years, besides collecting every minuscule detail of our lives, is their camera quality. I'll leave the images to other reviewers, of course, but the 12-megapixel ultra-wide-angle camera and the 12-megapixel regular camera are both protected by an oval of glass. The rest of the rectangular camera lens housing is made from plastic, which includes the singular LED flash. At first touch, pulling this phone out of the box, the Pixel 6a did feel like it had a glass back panel. However, as we can see from the razor blade of truth, the top portion is indeed made from plastic, a 3D thermoformed composite to be exact. It still does feel pretty good though, to be honest. At first glance, the gray gleams and glistens like glass, but with my gleeful grin and gentle graze of my guillotine, the goods are gouged with a grating groan. You get the gist. The goal of the game, always a gamble, is to gain ingress to the galleries of greatness through graphic genius. I gladly inaugurate George the Giraffe, whose glamorous gallivanting glow now gathers glory galloping through the galactic giganticness of Google. And thus concludes Art Class with Jerry. Pretty good if I do say so myself. There is quite a lot of static on the back, which collects quite a bit of dust, but if you keep the phone carving to a minimum, you should be just fine. Fingerprint-wise, I was pleasantly surprised. With an optical underscreen fingerprint scanner, it was able to read my fingerprint, and even after some level 7 deeper grooves, I was able to unlock the phone every single time. Thumbs up for that. The display of the Pixel 6a is another place Google managed to bring down the price, with a 6.1-inch 60Hz and 1080p resolution. It's a decent step down from the 120Hz 1440p display of the Pro. But to be honest, sometimes it's way nicer to have a dense wallet instead of dense pixels. It does last for 20 seconds under the heat from my lighter though, which also doesn't really matter much, but don't tell anyone. I've just been igniting phones for so long, the burn test is canon. Structural integrity, however, does matter quite a bit, and it's a valid prerequisite when purchasing a new phone, especially when it'll be living in your pocket for the next 2, 3, or if you're incredibly good, even 4 years. Bending from the front, this $450 smartphone doesn't give us much flex. Flipping around to the back and applying pressure, we do see the display start to lift out of the Pixel 6a housing, but then locks out, leaving us with no cracks, kinks, or breaks of any kind. Not too shabby. Nice work, Google. The Pixel 6a passes my durability test. George says it's time to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and come hang out with us on Instagram and Twitter. And now I think George is ready for his well-earned award, some brand new clothes. If you want your own phone to look as cool as George does, I'll leave a link for my Teardown skin in the video description. We're basically covering all the mainstream phones at this point, and yours is probably in there. As always, leave any questions or phones you want to see tested next down in the comments, and thanks a ton for watching. I'll see you around.